Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Kingdom Creatives podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Flavia Beswick, and we have a wonderful guest today. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself? I feel like you do a better job.
Hi, everybody. I am Sadra Madonna Lindsay, and I'm a gospel recording artist and author of the book To This Day Let Me Write. Yes, so I'm happy to be here. I'm looking forward to the rest of, the podcast.
You make a way, but have the final say.
So, usually we start off with an icebreaker. So I'm going to trouble you a bit. The first one that we're going to, hopefully it's not too hard, but the first one would be to list 5 things that describe you using the first letter of your first name.
Oh,
So
wow.
that would be S. 5 words that describe you, starting with S.
All right. I'm skillful. I I which other word begins with S that I can use to describe myself?
What about successful? I mean, you
Oh
released
yeah,
a book and you
well,
have your business.
you don't normally hurry up and say, I'm successful.
Right, right.
But I'll take that one from Flavia. Successful, I don't know. I can't think of
How
anything
much
else.
is that?
I think it's about 3.
As skillful, successful.
It's
What
2.
else? All right, I'm going to come back to it. All right, I'm probably not going to remember, to be honest, but if I remember, I'll come back to it for the other 3. So, the other one that I wanted to do before we get into everything. So I don't know if you've ever been on one of my Instagram lives where they try to stress me out. They give me a word, and I'm supposed to create a song on the spot using that word. She's laughing, everybody. She's laughing. All right. The word is sky.
Sky, and I should sing Sky.
Yeah, but you're going to make up something. So it can't be a song that exists already. You have to figure out something on the spot.
Okay. All right. So, Lord, you are the maker of the sky, the maker of the sea. And Lord, you smile down on from up the sky down on me.
You pull that melody out your head on the spot.
Yeah.
No, that melody. No, man. That's too nice. I mean, like you should use that. That's really pretty. That's
Nice.
an unusual melody to come out on the spot. Wow. So, well, that sets the tone, guys. So you hear what's happening. All right. So, as she said, she's an author, she's an entrepreneur, and a wonderful music minister. And so, we're just going to have a little discussion to get to know you and to help the viewers to get to know you as well. Because, guys, I bought some stuff. I don't know if you can see what's happening. So I bought me a goodie bag, but I don't have everything in there because I was too eager. I started using them before the podcast recording. Let me just take them up. They fell a while ago. Let me just take them up and show them what's happening. So I got me a rosemary blend oil, and I have aloe oil, and in the goodie bag I also got comb and a brush. And let's not forget the satin bonnet.
Yeah.
But I feel like I pronounced it wrong. Did I pronounce it right?
Yes, you did.
Okay, because I look at the ET at the end of the word and I feel like it's supposed to be bonnet for some reason.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I don't know. That's what comes to mind, but
You're
I'm glad I said it right. maybe. So I got a goodie bag courtesy of, well, I bought a goodie bag from her, and the name of her store is Garden Gold Cosmetics or Gold Garden. I feel Garden Gold is the right way around, right?
Gold, yes.
Garden Gold Cosmetics. And
Yeah.
let me just say the packaging first and foremost, I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah.
So we're going to get to know you a little bit more. How did you get into music firstly? Because there's so many dimensions to you. So let's start with music. How did you get into music?
All right. Music is what I was born into music. My family is a very musical family.
Right,
Um, we've always my parents have always ensured that we participate in festivals, so we have
right,
always been in music. It's something I grew up on, so I didn't like fall along the way where I decided, oh, I found out I could sing and I started to sing. No, that was not the case. i
right.
grew up knew I grew up knowing that I could sing, and so I sang at church, and
Mm-hmm.
from there on entered competitions, and it just grew over time.
Right, right, right. And for you, so it grew over time, but why did you decide to go into music ministry? Because there's so many things that you could have done, especially in a world that's so fast paced. And then on top of that, secular music tends to pay more and stuff. So why did you decide to go the road of gospel music?
Gospel music. We grew up on gospel. We grew up on gospel. A lot of the ways I've become, the things I've learned to love over time were really cultured in me and in my siblings since we were children.
All right.
So we kind of grew up um, with the gospel, and most of us did not stray. We stayed in line with the gospel. Now, as it relates to doing music, as opposed to probably going fully corporate, that is something that I decided over time, as a singing minister and as a worship leader,
All
and
right.
I realized that the Lord has really anointed and blessed my voice and blessed me to minister to persons in that fashion. And so I decided to walk along in that line because the Lord has blessed me to do so. um I also decided that this was one of the ways that God could be glorified through me, and I
All
could
right.
be a blessing to somebody else, paid or not. So I
Yeah.
mean, you should be paid. You should not take the talent and the gift. Do not abuse
Come
the
on now.
talent and the gift. That is biblical. But I mean, we go forth as minstrels, as worship leaders, and we do the work of the Lord, um, regardless most
All
of the
right.
time. But it blesses me.
That's wonderful. So, question, and I'll be sharing one of your songs shortly. But I, the name that you used for your business, Garden Gold Cosmetics. How did
Yeah.
it come about?
Oh my gosh. Flavia, if I tell you, years ago when my husband and I, when we got engaged to be married, and I
Right.
think it was just before we got married, I went to his parents' house, and I was there, and quite literally I had an open vision, and it was a garden with some whole heap of little people and little things, and they were just working in the garden, and the garden was just flourishing. Everything was plump and everything was green and everything was just so lovely. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so I told my husband, but years after that, down the line, years after that, we were looking into um doing the hair products, because I started to use some stuff back in 2020 from my own garden. And back in 2020, if you should see some stuff that came from my garden, they were enough to take to Coronation Market to sell. That's how many things we got from the garden. And so I was just using some products that are unique to us from my garden, and my hair just went poof. It just started to grow like ooh. And because it started to grow so much, I started to do it for myself more often, and then I started to, sell to some persons. And then when I sold it to some persons, they came back to me and they're like, "Oh my gosh, what did you put in it?" They're like, "Oh my gosh." And then they're showing me their hair, and I'm seeing all the testimonials, and everybody is saying they're here and they're here. So that's pretty much how our garden gold came about, from the literal fact that the stuff came from our garden and it was literally golden. I'm not hearing you.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying that that's beautiful because, I was expecting for you to say, "Oh, it's because I love gardens," and you know, I didn't know it was literal. So that's amazing that you could use things from your own garden to
Literally.
create
Yeah.
these products, because I've seen some of the testimonials on your page as well, and
Mhm.
hopefully I'll be one of them. I took a before picture, so
Yeah.
maybe in a few weeks I'll show you the after.
Yes. Yes.
But I'm looking forward to it, and everybody, you can hear how passionate she is about it. It's always wonderful to interact with people who are passionate about what they do, because it means that you're going to get quality. And I showed you the package already for those of you who are watching on YouTube. So, there is care and thought that's put into it. And you can see that she has natural hair as well. So she knows what she's doing. Like, I've used some products that have for natural hair on it. And obviously, it wasn't somebody with natural hair who came up with that idea. So it's wonderful. Yeah, it's
Yes.
really wonderful. And then especially knowing that it's somebody that I know. That's why when you messaged and I didn't get a response as yet, I messaged that I messaged you again. I'm like, I'm going to support this because I love what you're doing. I really do.
Oh, I appreciate it.
So I can't wait. I can't wait. Like, I've been wanting to grow my hair. So, and those who are watching this is not what I'm talking about. It's not this hair. I mean, my actual. But all right. So that's how the name came about.
Yeah.
Um, and let's backtrack a bit. Um, I don't know if it's intentional, but I've seen pictures of you on the stage or at events, and your image is something that's constant, right? So there's the scarf, and then I see the colors, the Jamaican colors. Is that deliberate?
Oh, all right. You want to know what the scarf? The scarf. The scarf was actually a gift to me from the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission. That's
Okay.
the JCDC. One
JCDC, yeah.
year, yeah. I was one of the judges in the festival, the National Festival Queen pageant,
All right.
and that was one of the gifts that was given to me. But I kind of like to have, my mother gave me a particular scarf that looked like that, and I think there
Right.
was and left it because when we go out and we minister, we want to cover the ground.
Right.
But specifically, when I had gone to minister on TVJ, I wanted to wear the scarf for that particular moment because of all that was happening in the country and the life
Right.
songs that the Lord gave me to sing. It was necessary for me to wear the scarf. And then
Right.
after that, it kind of became something that I have on
It
every.
works. It works. I mean, it suits you. So
Oh,
I just thought that it was deliberate. Like, hey, as my image, I'm going to add a scarf, because there's this other artist called Lauren Daigle, I think,
oh,
who
Lauren
she
Daly,
ties
yes.
her scarf around the mic. So that's why I was wondering. Yeah. But in terms of the colors though, because I realized maybe it's pictures of the same event, but I realized that I see Jamaican colors coming out in your presence on stage in terms of
Yeah.
outfit. Is that intentional?
Most times it is. Most of the
Right.
time. Yeah, it is.
So that means that you're a patriot. You're patriotic.
I am very passionate about my country and about the leadership and everything that concerns us. I'm a passionate person about nation building. I am.
That's good. So tell us about your book. Um, I am yet to get a copy. I'm going to get one as soon as I can, but I'm dipping my hand in different businesses of my friends to just support
Yes.
them bit by bit. So I'll come back for a book as soon as I can. But
All
tell us
right.
about your book.
All right. So my book is, just give me a second. Let me get a copy.
Sure.
All right. So my book is titled "To This Day Let Me Write," and it's been written over a period of 17 years. So there are poems
Wow.
that I've written since 2003, 2004, 2005, coming right up until I think the last thing was written in it was for 2020 was the last one that I wrote
All right.
in it. And that one for 2020 was After a While, and I'm gonna read it for you. But
Go ahead.
before I get into that one, um, the book the book was divinely inspired, and the title of it, "To This Day Let Me Write." I was on fasting back in 2008. I was on a series of fasts. I was just fasting and praying, and the Lord, He was really ministering to me and quite literally taking me through the Bible and through
All right.
verses, and He was just ministering to my mind and telling me things, what to do and what to expect, and how to act. And this
All
was
right.
all stuff coming from the Bible. And then one day I remember when I was at my desk at my office. I went in, and time I just started working, and I heard the voice of the Lord that was literally speaking, the Spirit of the Lord speaking to me. And it started by saying, "To this day, let me write."
Mm.
And then from there, the voice was just saying, "To this day, let me write." Or let me just read just a little section of right there.
Sure.
"To this day, let me write. For the Lord has opened mine eyes, and behold, I see things like never before. To the realm of the Spirit, He has opened the doors and has given me wings of eagles to take a spiritual soar. My God, my friend, whose knowledge knows no end, has given me but a glimpse of what shall be. And though He bids me well, child, let not your thoughts on this world dwell, because sooner than you think it will all be well." And this went on for pages and pages. And there's a section that he says, "For that which is hath already been, and that which is to come is already here. Be
All right.
not fooled, because it has not yet been manifested in the natural. For the world you do not see is more real than the actual."
Wow.
And then there were so many different things that the Lord would have spoken in this particular poem. And that is why the book is titled "To This Day Let Me Write." So
Right.
there are 5 different sections to the book. There's a whole section on conversations with the Lord, which begins with "To This Day Let Me Write." And then there's another section on that is titled "Breaking into Forever." And it speaks about life and living. It speaks about growing old and dying. It speaks about experiencing life on another level in your human condition. And then
Right.
there's part 3, which speaks to guiding love. And there's some persons like the gentleman who wrote my foreword. He was particularly fond of that section because it speaks of marriage, it speaks of love, it speaks of the vow, it speaks of expressing yourself as an individual in love. And when I say in love, I don't mean that fancy feeling in love, but an
Yeah.
individual in the capacity to give and to offer love. So that's that section. And then part 4 which is the longer section of the book, speaks of growing in grace. And that spoke particularly to me because I was like in my late teens, going
Right.
into early 20s. And it was just the Lord teaching me how to move, how to mingle, how to not mingle, if you get what I mean.
Right.
And pretty much how to adorn yourself with grace and poise, and identifying who you are and whose you are as
Mm.
you continue to grow. So there are literally step-by-step guidelines where that is concerned in the format of poetry, and also lived experiences that I would have gone through as
Right.
a young adult, as a teenager, and
Right.
as a young wife, and growing into my space as
Right.
an individual in the world. And then finally, the section 5 speaks to expressions of gratitude. Now there are two particular poems there that are dedicated to my parents. One is dedicated to my father and to the Lord. That one
Right.
is titled I Am My Father's Child, and that one is probably about 4 pages long. But it speaks to the entire journey and the relationship that I would have had with my earthly father, and how
Mm-hmm.
the relationship that I had with my earthly father, and how he would have spoken into my life purpose. He would have spoken into my
Right.
life things that that would shape me into the person that I am today. Because my father told me that I should not do so and so, and I am above certain things.
Right.
I understood that I don't even need to, for want of a better word, to move into a certain direction, not even to try to get a second hand thing, because
Yeah.
that is not who I am. So from childhood, I understood that. And if you read that poem, because when we did the launch, what that was one of the poems that was read, and
Right.
it's one of the it's really amazing in the book, because it speaks to your temporal father and your spiritual father, which is the Lord. So
Right.
that's the book in a nutshell, and it's an amazing read. The lived experiences through the book will inspire you, and it will certainly motivate you to just be confident in who you are and trust the Lord, because He
Yeah.
is indeed writing every page of your life.
Beautiful. And I, why? She talented though, guys. Talented bud. So, there are some more questions that I'd want to ask you, but I feel like we're probably going to do a part two. So maybe in
Yeah.
another week or so, or later down the line, I'll ask you to come back on because I want to hear what the process was like putting together a book that took about 17 years. That's interesting to me. Like that's one of the things that stood out a while ago while you were talking. So definitely we have to do a part two. But quickly, because we're about to run out of time, quickly I
Yeah.
want you to tell us where we can find your books, or your book, where we can find your music, and
Right.
how can we get your products.
All right. So the book is available on Amazon, and this is a first. I'm going to be doing a sale on Amazon. So guys, you can look out for it, and we're almost live on Kindle. We're not there yet, but we're almost there. But the book
Nice.
is in the paperback is available for purchase on Amazon. Look out for the sale that is coming up, possibly the beginning of the second quarter, which is the beginning of April coming. We're going to be doing a sale there. And if you like, we have copies here in Jamaica. So you could just message me on Instagram at Sadra Madonna, and I will respond. We can get a copy over to you. You can please go over to my YouTube channel and subscribe to Sadra Madonna, just the same. Sadra Madonna Lindsay. So you can just go and subscribe. And for the oil products and the hair care products, you can find me at Garden Gold Cosmetics. And that's on Instagram too. You can just send us a message there and we'll respond to you. Everything is there. You don't have to DM us for the prices, okay? They're all there. So whatever you see and you like, the prices are there. You can just look and you can just let us know. And
You know, you made a very good point a while ago. All the information is there. I don't know why people always put up products and then they don't give you the information.
I
I
don't
don't I don't get
particularly
it.
personally it's not something I like. I don't if I have to
Yeah.
DM you for the price, you would not be
Right. I
there.
don't but I want it.
Yes. So and
So
I make sure that I don't fall in that boat over there.
right,
Yes.
right. I love that. So there you have it, everyone. That was Sadra, Madonna, Lindsay, and I am super excited for all that you're doing and all that you will do because, of course, this is not the end. And so we definitely look forward to more awesome stuff from you and looking forward to having another chat with you in the near future. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being with us and sharing. And for those who are listening, I hope you were blessed and encouraged. And if you don't take away anything from this, I want you to remember one thing. If God has laid something in your heart 5 years ago, 10 years ago, hold on to it. All
Yes.
right. Thank you for being a part of the Kingdom Creatives podcast. Have a wonderful day.
Thank
Bye.
you so much for having me. God bless you and your ministry as you continue to grow and excel for the works of the Lord here on earth. Bless you.
Bless you, sis.